All right, I've started recording and we're going to pass it over to Shannon.
Hello and welcome to the P-BVUSD Distance Learning Training of Canvas and Curriculum. How do I use discussions and chat in Canvas? We're looking forward to learning with you. Please add your email addresses to this spreadsheet if you would like to participate in today's discussions and chat activities. We will add you in our DL sample course, which you will need to accept in Canvas. This is optional, but you can just sit back and soak it in as well. All right, our distance learning team is striving to build the capacity of teachers to meet all students' needs through innovative, personalized learning experiences online. Here are your Zoom norms. Take a few seconds to read through those. If you have a question and want answers without being lost in the chat, please take a moment to type in your questions in the Q&A document. We'll take some time at the end to answer any questions posted in the Q&A. All right, as we move forward with distance learning, many of you will need to reach out for support. So this is your support network. You can reach out to colleagues who are tech savvy. You can reach out to your C5 or Model Tech teachers, academic coaches, VPs, or principals. You also can reach us at our support line, and we also have a website that you can find at bit.ly P-BVUDL. If you have tech issues, you can also reach out to your IT support. And we now have a Google Voice number for our distance learning team, so you can pick up the phone and call us. Also, after our 30-minute session today, we're going to be hanging out for an after party where you can join us to be inspired, share, ask questions. So if you need to go, that's totally fine. If you'd like to take a deeper dive and hang out with us, then hang out with us after the session. It's okay. By the end of our time today, you will understand how to create a discussion in Canvas, understand how students interact in discussions, how to post a discussion in a Canvas module, and understand the chat features. I'm going to hand it over to Hans to start us off with discussions.
Thank you, Shannon. So one of the powerful features of Canvas is their discussions. So you can ask a question or prompt to the whole classroom or small group with text or video. When students reply to the discussion thread, they can respond with either typed words or video. Teachers and students can also respond to students' posts and threaded discussions. And we've found that discussions are designed for asynchronous time during distance learning. For example, you might have an essential question of the week or a reflection question at the end of the week for students to respond over a set number of days. And depending on the method of response you ask for will determine what standards are addressed. For instance, if you're requiring like a written response, this can focus on grammar, sentence structure, and writing comprehension. However, if you ask students to respond with video, this would emphasize speaking and listening skills. So discussion boards are a great substitute for whole class discussion because you get to read or hear every student voice instead of just pulling sticks and only hearing 3 or 4 students per discussion. It also gives every student a chance to respond to their peers. Now for primary students, using video prompts can overcome typing, writing, spelling obstacles so they can express themselves freely, giving teachers their unique perspective in the discussion. So let's discuss. But first, you're going to need to join our DL sample course because we've set a discussion in this sample course for you to join as students. So if you've added your name to this spreadsheet, I'm going to open it up right now. Right now we don't have any names, so let me drop this link into the chat, and we're going to give you guys 30 seconds to add your name and email. This is if you would like to participate in the discussion, so we're not talking by ourselves. So go ahead and take 30 seconds to put in your email so that you can join in our discussion in Canvas. All right. Oops. All right, so let's jump into our discussion. If you're joining us today, you're going to open a new tab and go to your Canvas dashboard. Once you get to your Canvas dashboard, if you're added to a new course as a student, you'll see a little invitation at the top, and you would just accept that invitation. Once you're in your Canvas DL sample course, you're going to click on Modules, and then you'll see this training, discussions, and chat. So I'm going to click on that. So let's look at these instructions. This says, watch the video prompt. If there was a video prompt, it would go right there. Reply to the question below with text or video. Then you would respond to one or more colleagues' answers with text. And then you would again respond to one or more colleagues' answers with video. And then you would read the other responses, and there's also a feature to click the like button. And the question is, what are the benefits to online discussions versus in-person discussions? What are some benefits you get with being online versus in person? So if we were to have anyone, oh, it looks like we have one person. So I'm going to just model to you how this would look if you were going to answer this question as a teacher. And maybe I'll get some other TOSAs on board to join me. So you would click on reply, and then you would type in your text. I think that having online discussions could give a different perspective, especially for my quiet students. And then you would just click post reply. And this is what your reply as a teacher would look like. Now, if you decided to reply to this with video, you can click on that same reply button, and you're going to look for this little tool that says record or upload media. So I'm going to click on that, and then my camera pops up, and my camera doesn't work, but let's pretend like it does. So I'm going to start recording. I think having discussions online is beneficial because my quiet students who are usually in the back or not raising their hands, this would give them an opportunity to let their voice be heard. And I'm going to click the finish button. Now that I'm done, I can play it back, and then I can save it, and then that video would be added to the rich media text editor, and then I'm going to click post reply. So now I have two replies, the oldest at the top, the newest at the bottom. All right. So while people are leaving their discussions, I'm going to jump back into our slides. So now the question is, so how do you create a discussion and add it to the module? Let me show that to you right now. Here's what you're going to do. First, you're going to go to your Canvas dashboard. I'm going to always start there whenever I'm switching courses. Now, instead of going into the DL sample course, I'm going to go into my classroom course, whichever classroom course you choose. Then I'm going to click on discussions. And it says you currently have no pinned discussions. and other content, but I'm going to click on the blue discussion icon. Once I'm here, I can start my discussion topic title with the word discussion. And I'm going to use the same. What are the benefits to online discussions versus in-person discussions? Now for my pro users, you guys can use emojis at the beginning to add a visual cue. After you're done with the title and asking your question, ending with a question mark, you could go in and add your instructions. So you can add whatever instructions you want for them. Now, if you would like to record a video, you can add it to the discussion, like as a prompt. So I'm going to click on my record button, and I'm going to see if I can get this thing working in less than 10 seconds, because I would love for that to work. Maybe not.
I will tell you, as a student, I've tried this before. It's very easy for the kids. They just hit record and it goes ahead and it does record on the Chromebook. So it's real easy on the Chromebooks.
Yes, I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. So, sure, I'll pass the screen over to Shannon.
All right, guys, let me share my screen. And I think this is really important to show because this is really fantastic for, especially for the younger kids, because they can use this video function. So I'm actually in the discussion that Hans previously posted in our DL sample class, and I can respond with video, or I can post in the rich content editor when you're creating your discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and reply. And I'm going to choose a video reply by clicking on that little icon. And I'm just going to start my recording. So I really like the engagement piece for video discussions because every student has an opportunity to participate either with a video. So if they have trouble with writing or written communication, they can use audio. But I also like the asynchronous part too, because they're seeing everybody else's responses. They know their responses are going to be seen, so they're going to put a little bit more effort into their writing and their grammar and all of those things that we want them to do with their writing. So yes, big benefit for asynchronous time. And I might use a different tool during synchronous for discussions, maybe the chat feature. So now I hit finish and I'm going to save it. You can view it, so you can go ahead and play and see, like, if you like the recording, and you can start over. So it's not like it's one and done. You're going to have chances to try again. But I'm going to go ahead and save. And I am going to post my reply. And notice that the posts come down towards the bottom. And I also just want to point out that since I posted it, since I clicked up here to reply, that's an initial post. But if you look here, I actually replied to Hans by clicking right here. So you can do, the kids can have threaded discussions that way, so speaking to each other. All right, Hans, I'm going to pass that back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. So you can post your instruction video there, list out any instructions. You have all of these tools that you can add. Oh, I hear an echo. Now, after you're done with your instructions, you can scroll down and choose some options. So you can click the allow threaded replies, like what Shannon was talking about, how it would be threaded under a student's reply. You can also say that users must post before seeing replies. So if they want to see that discussion, they have to reply first. So that may be some accountability or incentive. Enable podcast feed. I haven't played with this, but something tells me it has to do with audio. And you can include student replies in podcast feed. You can make this graded. You can allow liking, and you can have only graders can like or sort by likes. So the most liked post goes to the top, and you can also add a student to-do list. And you can assign it to a particular group to have a group discussion. And when you're done, you would just click save and save or publish. Oh, I'm going to uncheck the group. I don't want a group right now. So I'm going to save and publish. So now this discussion is listed under my discussions. But how do I add this to a module? Well, I can scroll down to modules, and I can click plus module, and I'll give this a quick assignment name. I'm going to call this Hans's Tosa's assignment. I'm going to add that module. And then to add an item like a discussion to a module, you can click the plus sign, select discussion, and then choose the discussion you've already created. And then I can indent that one level and then add that item. And once I publish this, this will now be viewable to my students. So that's a little bit about creating discussions and how to add them to your modules. Now I'm going to pass the mic over to Jill, and she's going to show you a really cool synchronous tool you can use with your students.
Thanks, Hans. I'm going to talk about the chat feature. It's real similar to discussions, but it's a little bit more informal. So you can do things with this on the fly a little bit easier than discussions on that. And chat is just a very simple tool for everyone to communicate within a course. So it's similar to the chat feature that's in Zoom. Now there is only one chat room per course. So there's only one area for the kids to chat, which is nice for control. You can, one great feature of chat is that there's no prep time for the teacher. You can just throw out a question and have the kids respond in the chat area. The chat is seen by whole class, so there's not like groups. So you have to think about when you're going to use it, it's for everyone to be able to participate. You can actually delete some of the responses when you see them that are inappropriate or maybe off task. So you kind of have that control that in a Zoom chat, you don't have that ability. This is great to use for brainstorming, ideas, checking for just quick understanding in a class, or at the end of the class, throw out a question that the kids have to respond to. So it's great for students to even be able to ask questions if they're not understanding something, because you get a notification bell if you have it turned on, so you know that someone's asking you a question. It's got great uses for what do you wonder, what do you notice? It's kind of quick responses. So now I'm going to take you over to actually the same course, the DL sample course. And chat is one of the features in the navigation bar. So chat happens to be down near the bottom of ours. So if you just press on chat, you get to the course chat. Now we've had some samples here of conversations that have been ongoing. Up at the top though, you can see the students' names that are logged in. So that way you can kind of make sure that every one of your 34 students is in the chat, or if you've only invited 10 to go over there, then you'll see, 10 students here. On the right-hand side, you have new messages alert. This is a feature, if you turn it on or off, I like it on, and it's kind of a higher bell little ding that you'll hear that you know somebody has written something in chat. So if you have it open during class and a student asks a question, you'll hear the little ringing and then you'll realize, oh, somebody just asked me a question. Down here at the bottom, let me change this position, is actually where you can write something like, I'm having a great day. So you type in what you want. There's the emoji area. So if you click on that, you have all different types of emojis that will appear. So there's a lot more than just the smiley face that you can create. And let me go back to a smiley face. There's a smile, and then I press send, and there's your chat. Now let's look at some of the other responses that we've had. Shannon went ahead and made a comment back on the 14th at 1:24. So the timestamp is automatic. So if you need proof of something, here's where it gets timestamped. The instructor is the one that gets a blue label next to it. The students will not have the same blue label. She made a comment. She put an emoji in there. And if you look over here on the right-hand side for everything that she put in there is a trash can. You can delete it. So immediately, if you see some comment that you don't want the rest of the class to see, you can immediately go in there and delete it. And when you delete it, it is gone like forever. So you can't bring it back. So just be aware of that. One other thing that I thought was really neat, you can put a link very quickly to say, okay, kids, let's all go to this really neat website that we're going to watch some current fires that are going on in California. So you can put the link right in there. It becomes a live link for the students, and they just need to click on it and sends them over to the website where you want. So that's a really nice feature. So here are the other comments that they have been having. And if anybody is in this course and they would like to respond, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Not that I'm counting on the calendar, but it will be here before we know it. And this year is kind of a little bit different. So if anybody wants to respond in the chat, back to me as to whether the response is. Okay, we got Shannon. I want to know what Lisa is doing for the holidays. So Lisa, are you able to kind of chat with us? If you're brave.
Okay, let me get there. I'm trying.
Okay.
keep getting clicked out of my internet, so I keep rebooting.
Oh.
I'm having a Zoom problem today. So
yeah, I had a Zoom problem earlier, so it happens to all of us.
I know it does. Okay.
So can you kind of think of different ways of using the chat for your students? Say tomorrow on a Friday, maybe asking them what they're going to do for the weekend. Just make sure that you do prep the students that it is going to be recorded. So make sure that they write only things that they want grandma to be able to see, nothing inappropriate. And I think this is more of when they know that it's going to stay there until it gets deleted, that they're less likely to write something that's not, appropriate. So I think this is a way of kind of security, I guess. And I don't know, Lisa, are you going to be able to? There's Lisa, there's her comment. I hope to be over at the beach. Oh, that would be lovely to be over at the beach at Thanksgiving. Great idea. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to our slideshow presentation because Shannon is going to actually finish us up before the party that we have, the after party.
All right, thanks, Jill. So did you guys hear that? Whenever there's a chat posted, you can hear the little notification. So I just got a little ding, so that kind of cued me off that someone was just in the chat. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining us today and all of your efforts to meet your students' needs. Please give us feedback. If you think this training was awesome, that's great. If you think it's not awesome, please let us know so we can get that feedback and try to make adjustments to improve for you the next time. All right. Let's go to the next slide. don't forget to sign out. This concludes our training for today, but you are more than welcome to stay with us and dive a little bit deeper into answering some questions, the things that we went over today, or if you have some other questions. We're going to stop this recording at this point. We'll